Welcome to Perspectives, a current affairs discussion program on Agate Radio, 95.5 Star FM, Makudi, Benue State. This morning on Perspectives, we shall focus on a hybrid of issues bordering on the state of affairs in the education as well as the health sectors. In the education and the health sector, particularly because the University Workers comprising Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities as well as the non-academic staff of Nigerian universities have embarked on an indefinite nationwide strike which has grounded activities in universities across the country. And in the health sector, the National Physicians Week is being observed, and doctors are raising issues about poor remunerations as well as deplorable working conditions, brain drain, and medical tourism, which they said has been plaguing the health sector. We shall examine some of these issues and see the extent to which they are being addressed by the government and what professionals can do to better serve the citizenry. And of course, what can be done to get our universities reopened. We shall interrogate some of the issues which have led to the nationwide strike embarked upon by the unions. So these are the hybrid issues we are focusing on today's edition of Perspectives. I have been joined here in the studio by one of the discussants who is of the health sector, the Nigerian Medical Association Chairman, Benue State Chapter, a consultant general surgeon with the Federal University of Health Sciences, Otukpo, Benue State. Dr. Amina Jalfet Onyeuchi is our guest on Perspectives this morning. Welcome to Agate Radio.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you, NMA Chairman Benue, to join us. And we are expecting the president of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, BSU chapter, that's the Benue State University chapter, Comrade Lupe Shishi, who will also join us on this edition to shed light on the issues that have led to the strike embarked upon by the unions, grounding activities in university campuses across the country. Later at 10 o'clock, this program is with us on some of the issues we are discussing. The number through which you can reach us is 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. The SMS line which will be available once we begin the conversation is 0912-699-9404. 0912-699-9404. And that line is also available on WhatsApp. Log on to our website on www.agateradio.tv.com to listen to us and access other contents of Agate Radio as well. You may also download the Agate Radio and TV app from Google Play Store, which serves you to listen to our radio, watch the television, as well as read our newspaper online. One-stop app that serves you for all this. You can also find us on Radio Garden as well as on social media platforms. If you follow our pages, the program is usually streaming there, and other content of Agate Radio as well. We take a short break, and once we are back, our discussion starts right away. Please stay tuned, dear listener. Welcome back from that short break, dear listener. And just before we begin right away, we've now been joined here in the studio by the President, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, Benue State Chapter, Comrade Lupe Shishi, has joined us. Welcome to iGate Radio, the Comrade President. And thank you very much for joining us on this edition.
Thank you very much, sir. It's not president, it's chairperson.
Chairman, I beg your pardon. Anyway, we'll elevate you to maybe national president. Maybe. All right. Good to have you join us, Chairman Sanu, BSU. Now, let's begin. I'd like to begin with you, Comrade Japhet Onyewuchi, NMA Chairman, Benue. The Physicians Week, our umbrella body of the doctors, is observing it nationally, and you are talking about issues of poor remunerations which have bothered doctors in the country over the years. Walk us into an understanding of what are the major issues plaguing the health sector that affect you doctors in particular.
Thank you so much for this privilege to speak on the issues of remunerations concerning the Nigerian doctors. I'm going to come down to focus on Benue doctors whom I represent at the moment. If you look at the theme of our Physician Week, is ensuring universal applicability in remuneration. Ensuring universal applicability in remunerations, a panacea to talent retention in the health sector. Why are we discussing this at a time like this? There is a huge disparity in the payment of doctors' salary across the country. You notice that doctors working in the state are paid differently from the doctors working in the federal sector. Even among the states, there is still disparity among doctors working in the tertiary health sector, like Benue State University Teaching Hospital, as compared to doctors working in General Hospital, the Health Management Board. Now, the reason for this Physician Week is to bring to the fore once more, because this is not the first time we're complaining at this, that if the remuneration, the salaries of doctors are not looked into, the chances are the doctors will move from areas of less care to areas where they will have good care, ultimate care. And that is the Jackpot syndrome we are talking about. If you see what is happening in our country today, Nigeria has become a breeding ground for professionals. Nigerians train the professionals for other country to come and harvest and take away. Why? Poor salary structure. Poor salary structures. Recently, they talked about a 25% increment in doctors' salary. How much was that? We have other sectors like the judiciary, 300% increment in the judiciary sector. Just compare it and look at it. And you want a doctor to stay in a country where his salary is not coming as it ought to, is not up to standard. So that is why the Nigerian Medical Association is taking this theme personal, so that the government will arise and ensure that there is increased remuneration. We want increased remuneration. In Benue State particularly, it will interest you to know that doctors in the Health Management Board, they have been on strike. Why? Because of disparity. There is a bias in the payment of salaries to doctors within the state. Benue State University Teaching Hospital is on the first line charge. I really want to appreciate the governor because he's doing a lot in Benue State University Teaching Hospital. However, the general hospitals, if you don't take care of the general hospitals, You are going to have all the patients that the general hospital are supposed to see coming to choke the teaching hospital. And that is what is happening currently. You take a patient to the teaching hospital, there is no bed space. Patients go to teaching hospital, they wait and wait because there are fewer doctors on ground. Doctors are not enough to take care of the patients on ground. Why? Doctors are leaving. They are leaving. So we really are interested in this increased remuneration. The health management board doctors that takes care of our general hospitals, they have, thanks to the governor of Benue State, His Excellency, Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia, he has been able to approve the hazard allowance for Benue State University doctors, teaching hospital doctors only. And then you look at your colleague working in the same place, you are taking 5,000 naira hazard allowance, and the other person is taking 40,000 or 35 or 38,000 naira hazard allowance, and you are exposed to the same hazard. Will you be happy working? You won't be happy working. So we are calling on the doctor, on the government, to look into the remuneration. There is currently the COMMES 2023 that has been approved by the federal government and is being paid. I work in the federal sector. I'm being paid that COMMES 2023. It will interest you to know that Benue State has been paying COMMES 2010. COMMES 2010. Since then, the COMMES have been improved to 2014, 2018, and we are in 2023 COMMES. The disparity in this salary is wide. And we are all doctors. We sit together. I really want you to know that this disparity in the salary is causing some form of a subtle enmity between doctors. We're doing the same work and we're being paid different salary. So you can see, if you look at the Health Management Board, 2 years ago, the number of doctors you have in Health Management Board, 2/3 of that number has gone. Where have they gone to? Some of them have moved to teaching hospital, Benue State, where remuneration is better. Some of them have moved to other states where remuneration is better. Some of them have flown out of the country where remuneration is better. There is no way you can prevent doctors from living from a place of less care, less remuneration, poor working environment, and you say that they shouldn't leave, they will leave.
Okay, we will interrogate some of the issues later on. You mentioned quite a number of issues, disparities in salary, which we'll come back to them. But for now, Comrade Shishi, you have joined us. You are the University Workers, SANO, BSU. The unions have decided to ground the universities across the country. What is the reason for the nationwide strike embarked upon by SANO and NASU?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity to share with the general public the issues surrounding the industrial disharmony in the university sector concerning the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and NASU. If you recall, in 2022, almost all the university-based unions went on strike. That was mainly for other unresolved matters, particularly the 2009 agreement, the non-renegotiation of 2009 agreement. In the agreement, it was stated that after 4 years, the 5th year, the agreement will be renegotiated. And so, as I'm speaking to you here now, the 2009 agreement is not being renegotiated. And the agreement was entered into using some parameters, because It concerns our wages and policy matters. At that time, the salary and other issues were considered, other allowances based on the price of petrol, the price of energy, power, electricity, rent, and what have you. And as the government keeps changing the rates, increasing the rates of economy tax and other things, this 2009 agreement has remained, meaning that the salary of a university worker have not changed since 2009. And even the implementation of the 2009 agreement, as I speak to you, has been partially done, even with so much stress. If you don't go on strike in Nigeria, nothing happens. So the unions were on strike, and federal government, the Buhari-led government, I am sorry to say, but it's one of the worst government. I want this one to end before I will conclude. They went into agreement with the JAC of SANU and NASO, Joint Action Committee, and agreed on some terms that the strike should be suspended while they will conclude the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement. We made our submission as SANU and NASO. And also, the last clause in the MOU that was signed in 2022, 28th August 2022, the last clause on that agreement was non-victimization clause, meaning that our salaries and allowances will not be withheld, amongst others. The same government that entered into this agreement signed, they were keen to sign so that normalcy should return to campus. That same government, up to this moment, have decided to withhold the 4-month salaries of the university workers, when even the 2009 agreement has not been fully implemented, where we're even talking about being late on renegotiating the agreement. I know within this period, government has set up over 3 committees: the Babalakin-led committee, the Professor Nimi Briggs-led committee of blessed memory, and now another committee. So government is doing this thing deliberately to ensure that Nigerian educational system is not anywhere near the world rankings, and that's why they are flouting new universities and allowing private universities to come on board, so that they will completely destroy the tertiary education, to having successfully destroyed the primary and the secondary education.
Well, quite a number of issues you raised there. So as it is, for Benue, you are of the Benue State University. What is the state of affairs at the university as a concerned SANU? Have you joined the strike to ground the resumption of activities as students are just about to resume on campus from your end as SANU?
Yes, in the union parlance, we have an injury to one is an injury to all. We don't have a different salary structure. We are all on county salary structure. And so we also have, even from Benue State University, I'm a member of National Executive Council of SANU as the chairman of the branch. And therefore, I'm part of the decision-making process. When that decision was taken in Akure, I remember I also moved a motion in support of that decision. Therefore, when it comes to issues of this, we don't differentiate between whether state or federal. However, I want to actually appreciate the success of Benue State government on the implementation of the 2009 agreement. To be honest, we are ahead of so many federal universities because we have successfully, included them in our salary structure. So we are now talking about the arrears. But why the federal institutions are on strike, we also have local issues that are bothering us, and then we cannot say we will not join them because we need next year to approve any action we need to take, and therefore we cannot stay away. So we had a Congress on Monday, and because it's a national directive, and again we are just a branch. A branch cannot do anything on its own. Once there is a directive from the national, whether you don't have any single issue, you comply in total. They are not in us any salary, apart from the arrears of any allowance, promotion, arrears, and other allowances. We are not being owed monthly salary. So we wouldn't have joined any strike that is talking about owing staff salaries or withheld salaries. However, an injury to one is an injury to all.
But this with head salaries, which you mentioned, 4 months, you termed it as victimization. Does it also affect your members at the Benue State University?
Yes, an injury to one is an injury to all. I have stated that here earlier. If you withhold the salary from my counterpart in the Joseph Sawon Ataka University, who is a SANO member, and we are in the same union, it means I am also affected.
Okay, comrade, there are many Nigerians who believe that you, members of SANO and NASU, always wait for ASU to take the lead. For instance, the ASU issues are there, which they also gave an ultimatum to the government, and the federal government has constituted a committee looking into their direction. And here you have come granting universities. Why do you always wait for ASU to take the lead before you come behind them doing the same actions?
All right, thank you very much. I think, it's a general perception. We have organs of our union, and it follows from such organs. The meeting we had in Akure between 5th to 7th March 2024, that was the issue. That was the meeting, the next meeting, we appraised the situation and the level of implementation and took that decision. However, our union showed high level of decorum by not following immediately with NEC directives. If we have done so, we would have been embarked on strike not later than May this year. That is why this particular strike, if you look at the circular, there have been several ultimatums. Even when the ultimatums expired, we still went to Abuja and held a general protest, apart from the protests we did on our various campuses. And when we went to Unity Fountain, where we were supposed to proceed on the protest, we made the shock of our lives. Police were mobilized against us with armored vehicles, armored tanks, and none of us was allowed to leave Unity Fountain. And we imagine, this is the government that before they came to power, they were leading protests in Nigeria, and they will not even allow us to protest. That was how they caged us in that Unity Fountain until they ensured that we left that place without protesting in Abuja. So we gave various ultimatums, series of warnings. I will give you the dates sequentially. In June we did same, with the protest was in July. And so we don't really wait for a particular union to lead the way. Just that about the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement. It affects SANO, NASU, ASU, and NAD. It affects all the unions. And so we embark on strike. There have been several instances where we went on strike, only SANO or only NASU. There have been several times where ASU went on strike alone because we are different unions with different decision-making bodies. So it is not true that we always wait for them to take the lead. However, the issues affecting us are same, and then that is why it seemed to be so, because once the committee comes on board to renegotiate 2009 agreement, they'll have to renegotiate it for all the unions.
Okay. Dr. Japhet Onyewuchi, you mentioned earlier about disparities in salaries of doctors even within the same health sector in Benue. For instance, you cited instances informing us that doctors under the Health Management Board have been on strike. What are the reasons for that strike by the doctors, which is an affiliate of the enemy?
Yes, the reason why the health management doctors are on strike is basically because of the disparity in salary, coming down to the hazard allowances. Previously, we were all receiving a hazard allowance of 5,000 naira. Sometimes last year it was reviewed, and the new rate started coming in. The governor approved the new rate for Benue State University Teaching Hospital last year. Now, some doctors, depending on your ranking, you get 40, some 38, some 35, 42. But you notice that the doctors in the Health Management Board, till date, they are still receiving 5,000 naira hazard allowance. They have written, they have complained, We have sat in a meeting with the commissioner, the SSG, the commissioner for health, the commissioner for finance, the SSG, regarding this disparity in the hazard allowance. But nothing has been done. So they have been on strike, and this is about the third time they are going on strike for same issue. Also, there is arrears of salary that is owed, and this have been a reason why they have been going on this incessant strike. I spoke with the chairman of the Nagen DP, Dr. Owoicho. He said that because of this disparity in salary, a lot of the doctors, well over 60% of the doctors in health management board, they are the ones that takes care of the general hospitals in our local government. They have all left the health management board to other institutions with better remuneration. So basically, that is the reason why they have been on strike. And it has been a lingering problem. It's not a new problem. It has been a lingering problem. It was on before that of Benue State University Teaching Hospital was implemented and approved for payment, and it started getting. Till this time I'm talking to you, doctors in the health management board are still receiving 5,000 naira, and their salary arrears that is being owed them is also there. That's the reason for their strike.
When you mention receiving 5,000 hazard allowance,
yes,
so that the listener knows clearly, because
yes,
some persons could interpret that as their remuneration.
No.
It's all right. Dear listener, if you are just tuning in, you are listening to Perspectives on Agate Radio, 95.5 Star FM, Makurdi, Benue State. Our discussion is focused today on a hybrid of issues, the state of affairs in the education and health sectors in Nigeria, as currently the unions in the universities across the country have embarked on a nationwide strike, grounding activities in university campuses. And of course, the doctors across the country are observing National Physicians Week, and they are raising issues about welfare, and also here in Benue State. So this is what we are discussing. Our guest here in the studio, I have with me the Consultant General Surgeon at the Federal University of Health Sciences, Otukpo, who is the chairman, Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, Benue State Branch, Dr. Amina Jaffret Onyewuchi, and the chairman, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, Benue State University Chapter, Comrade Lupe. Subject matter we are discussing 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. That's the line to be a part of the program. The SMS line is already activated, and you may send us an SMS or a chat on WhatsApp to the number 0912-699-9404. 0912-699-9404. Please remember to include your full name at the location you are sending your message from. Log onto our website on www.agateradio.tv.com to listen to us and access other content of Agate Radio as well. Download the Agate Radio and TV app from Google Play Store, which serves you to listen to the radio, watch the television online, as well as read the newspaper. You can listen to us via Radio Garden, and we are streaming our content on social media platforms as well. Follow our pages, and of course, you'll be sure to access every content of our Agate Radio. Comrade Shishi, you mentioned earlier about lack of government's attention to funding public universities. Why is this so? Is it as a result of the attitude of you university workers not paying attention keenly to your work, that the government is not funding the education, or what are the factors responsible?
Thank you very much. The issue of funding of public institutions, especially the education sector, can even be seen from the budget. If you look at the budgetary allocation for education, Nigeria ranks the least among the Committee of Nations. There were times that even the entire education system don't get up to 7% of the budget. You wonder why at some point in time when school feeding program was introduced, the amount of money that went into school feeding program was even more than what was allocated to education. This is so because one of these reasons. Because for the school feeding program, for example, the billions that was allocated to that was going to private pockets. You can imagine where a country, a nation that is supposed to develop. For example, Wednessday University wants to be among the first 10 universities in Africa and among the first 200 in the world. And then we are complaining of funding. Currently, what the state government does is they pay 100% of the salaries. But other things are done within, from the NEPA bill, from the construction of laboratories. And I want to tell you this. You cannot go to Benue State University and see a single building standing courtesy of Benue State government. You can see at some point in time, the former governor Gabriel Swamp donated faculty of law. It was not really Teme. It was more like a donation from him. And then at some point in time when Senator Kume then built College of Health Sciences, every building, if you go to that university now, is a third fund project. And so I'm talking about a state university where the state government is not funding any infrastructure development. And so what the school collects too is user charges from the students. So students pay for the chemicals they will use in the laboratory, their water, light, and so on. And so you will wonder, for example, now we have a challenge of arrears of earn allowances. It's a product of the 2009 agreement. And we had a strike in 2017 that lasted for 2 months where we signed an MOU with the state government. And the state government asked the university management to pay from the internally generated revenue. The question will now be, is it from the user charges? Because the students at Benue State University are not asked to pay school tuition fee. They only pay for the items they are using, ID card and so forth. And the ones I earlier mentioned. So there is no deliberate policy of government to say this is what we want to achieve and develop, maybe as a state government, as a federal government, or as a country. I read a piece yesterday where when Iran wanted to buy a missile protection system and Russia refused to, allow them buy that. The same time, Nigeria wanted to buy a Tucano jet during the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan administration, and U.S. declined that. But Boko Haram was killing everywhere in the country. And you see all the strikes that the university sector, in the university-based union have embarked on, have been on the issue of non-funding of public universities. People, it will amaze you to know that everyone that carries out a research in the university, to a greater percentage, they use it from their own money. And this research is required to earn them promotions, especially for academic staff, but I'm not here really to talk about them. We have our members who carry out research because laboratories are also manned by us that will do research. People buy reagents with their own salaries to try and develop something. So the research is limited. Some of the researches we want to carry about are capital intensive, setting up the equipments for that particular research, and then you need to use your own funds. So we are wondering, what does Nigeria really seem to achieve by not having, a clear-cut goal for her educational system? And you see, the minister that was just relieved of his appointment, when he came into power, one of his major concerns was the age at which you should get before you get admission to a university. Is that what a minister and of education is supposed to be concerned with, the age at which you will have before you enter into, and is not bothered about the research or the product of research that is done in the country? And so I just see that as a lack of focus, lack of direction. From the budget, you will see that nothing concerns them with. In fact, the budget that is allocated to National Assembly only for how many members is far more than what is allocated to education sector. So The unions are only, trying to draw the attention of the government that this shouldn't be, that we want to do this and this. And if you can see from the third fund, which is also a product of strike, that fund education, at some point in time, there were no hostels, there were no classroom, but we thank God for third fund. Today, if you work on many campuses, at least there are offices, there are lecture halls, and there are even hostels. But I want to tell you something. At the Benue State University, not up to 10% of the students are accommodated on the campus. And the reasons for them staying, the security threats for them staying off campus, I can't overemphasize them here. There are many, from students being raped on the way, their phones being collected, some are being murdered on their way, off campus. On campus, the security is more there, and because of the number of people on campus, the crime rate on campus is insignificant. For a very long time, you will not even hear of anything, no court activity on campus, but just outside the campus sometimes, there are so many reasons. So what will it take the government to fund the building of hostel at the university so that these students, especially the female students, will be housed on campus?
You speak passionately for the student, and here you have embarked on strike. Do you have the interest of the students at heart at a time where there is a lot of hardship in the country, and unions, university workers have decided to ground activities? Are you aware of the impact this will have on the students?
Thank you very much. The impact for embarking on strike at the moment are well known to us. That is why there's sickness. And you mentioned some of it here as maybe waiting for us to go on strike. It seems as if we don't have a mind of one to go, but that is not so. We consider students, having known that our members work in the university health sector, the water, laboratory, the power sector, legal services, health sector, the security unit, the registry, bursary, the admission. We are all bothered that this, most of us, because we can't afford to put our children in private universities, they attend this public university. So our children are in this university. So we have them at heart. And most of the strikes we embark on, if not for these strikes, at some point at the Benue State University, students will crowd around the windows to receive lectures. They were not having the kind of lecture halls they have today. Even if you go to the Unity campus now, second camp, there is a hostel that is going on, that is being built also by the third fund. So it's a product of this strike. These strikes are not only about our welfare. It's unfortunate that at this point in time, while we're trying to ask government to improve the funding of educational sector, they decide to withhold our salaries. And we say, look at the economy. This current economy is government made. And they are doing that without considering the life of Nigeria. Currently, our salaries cannot even buy fuel for us to go to work. So the strike, as painful as it is still for the good of the education system. Whether you are a student, you are a staff, it is for our own good. So we love the children, we value them, but we want that without a standard educational system, they will have no place to learn. And we've discovered that the current students don't fight for themselves. Then I know how when cars were knocking students down in BSc when I was a student there, between 2.4 to 2.8. At some point in time, we mounted roadblock, and that was all give rise to the pedestrian bridge at the first gate. But currently, students, it's very difficult for them to even protest, even when water is not pumped to their hostels. Even when there is no power, I want to appreciate them. You see them carrying their torchlight, their lanterns, to go and read. During our time, we used to sometimes take candle there and read with candles to ensure that we stay power without resorting to any violence, because our desire is that we want to get this degree at all costs. Look at the cost of diesel now. Will you honestly blame the university for not running diesel for 24 hours? Because this bandit that they talk about, there is hardly light there. And every month, the university pays NEPA bill. The last time we had a meeting with management of the university, they were paying NEPA bill for over 10 million naira. 10 million naira, and they will still, if they tell you how much they are spending on diesel, it will be amazing. So we love these students, and we want educational sector to be funded. And we that are working in this university, we have children, and we also need to eat. We need to come to work. To be honest with you, right now my salary cannot fuel my car conveniently in a month to go to work. And therefore, we have resorted to, you see, any public transport we can, sometimes Okada, sometimes Keke Napep, you see, it is very dehumanizing to be flying on bags. The safety is no longer there. And then sometimes the delays in trying to get even a bus to get to office, it also affects your output, because sometimes you plan that you arrive at work by 8 a.m., you are not in control of your route, how the bus or the Keke Napep will move, and then you arrive also late at work. So there are multiplier effects towards the negligence being experienced by these universities from the government. And one other surprising fact is that they keep on bringing out new universities. It has become a political situation to ensure that they bring new universities in constituencies. If you go to Ondo like this, there are about 3 or so state universities, and none of them is properly funded. So we begin to wonder what is happening. Is it for the name? So we love the children, but we love the educational sector more.
Anyway, well, okay, that's okay. Dr. Japhet Onyewuchi, back to the health sector. You also mentioned earlier about brain drain, exodus of doctors in search of greener pastures. What are the factors responsible for this? Don't we have our hospitals here with the right environment for you to stay behind and work to salvage the health of the citizenry?
Thank you so much. I want to appreciate our listeners also. The brain drain is, we've spoken on the number one issue, the remuneration.
Yes.
But I want to let you know that the causes of this brain drain, you can classify them into financial and non-financial causes. Okay, we talked about remuneration already, about the poor salaries, and that is the reason why you see doctors leaving from Nigeria to UK, into US, and then going to Canada, because you cannot compare the salaries. Doctors leaving to Saudi Arabia, I have a friend there. So many of my friends are there. In a month, their salary is
I hope they're not planning to take you away from us. So, but that's by the way. With so many of your friends there,
yes,
we're getting worried that it's okay.
In a month, you see, they call you and tell you that they have paid them, some of them 5-point-something million in a month. You begin to look at, I asked her, I say, are you sure? She said, go on WhatsApp. And then she when she was flaunting some money at me, I say, what? She said she received 5.2 million naira monthly. I don't want to tell you how much I receive. And the person I'm talking about is a senior registrar, is junior to me. And I'm a consultant general surgeon. I'm not earning up to 1 million, sir. Now, if I have opportunity, like you said, to leave this place to Saudi, to leave to UK, honestly, comrade, do you think I will stay?
Not at all.
I'm not going to stay, sir. Improvement on salary, one of the major cause. Now, but I'm still trying to calm down in Benue State.
Yes.
If you look at the brain drain in Benue State, what is the cause? Benue State government doctors leaving state general hospitals to come and work in B-suit, or they are leaving the state entirely, whether from Health Management Board, General Hospital, or B-suit, to go outside the country. The non-financial causes we're talking about is that there is poor working environment, workplace decay. I really thank the governor of Benue State, His Excellency, Reverend Father Alia. He has done so much in the teaching hospital, because I worked in teaching hospital here for 12 years before leaving to the federal sector. We consult patients in the consulting room, no light. There won't be light. You are sweating. You use your hand and clean sweat, and you keep talking to a patient. But today, if you go there, he has done a lot of work there. There are ACs in the consulting room. I mean, no light, no fan working, and AC working in the consulting room. Which of these doctors do you think will stay longer working? The person on that AC will stay longer. And so I want the Benue State governor to look into the general hospital. If you visit some of our general hospitals, the doctors working there, they are not proud to invite their friends and say, come see me in the office. Why? The table they are writing on has a broken leg, maybe supported by a plastic seat. There's no window, there's no curtain, even screen. You want to examine a patient, there is no screen. I tell you, as small as a fig to check the blood pressure of the patient. I discussed with one of them who told me that he has a fig on his table, but he knows that his fig is not working. And there is nothing he can do. Patient will come. After seeing the patient say, doctor, you have not checked my blood pressure today. He said that sometimes he will just wrap that thing round, knowing within him that this thing is not working. How do you feel? How do you feel? You see a doctor like my colleague, my comrade here saying, a doctor is working in the general hospital. He doesn't have a car. He's climbing a Okada here and there. You know, as the patient is alighting from the Okada, the doctor also is stepping down from the Okada. You don't know who is a doctor. You don't know who is a patient. And as the doctor is coming in, sometimes a kidnapper will follow him in.
It's emergency.
Are you getting it? Poor security, poor workplace environment. I told you about my friend in Saudi Arabia. She told me that most of the doctors from Nigeria that go to Saudi Arabia, most of them work in a place like their general hospital. Now, the father in Saudi, the father you go from the center where everything is much. The farther you go, the more salary you earn, because there is something like a rural allowance given to them. Now, these doctors in general hospital, you are paying them 5,000 as against 35,000 naira you are supposed to pay them for hazard allowance. No rural allowance. Do you know that most of the general hospitals in Benue State has no vehicle? They don't have vehicle. The medical officers in charge of that place do not have vehicles. These are some of the things you make available to make their work easy. No vehicle. Some of them, even the people that come to kidnap them, will come with machine and carry them and go. If a doctor in charge of an institution like that has a vehicle and he notices some form of insecurity and the vehicle is functional, do you think somebody on a bike can pick him? No. These are the things we are crying out for the government to do. Even I really appreciate the governor. You know, when I was working in the Benue State University Teaching Hospital, so many things were not working. Today you hear our CT scan is broken down, but go there today. The CT scan is working. The MRI is working. The labs are working. Good working environment. But then there's a problem there right now.
And what the problem is?
The problem is burnout for doctors. Do you know the reason for the burnout?
Maybe you want to help
General
us
Hospital is not working. The General Hospital is on strike. That's the Health Management Board doctors. Now, all the doctors, all the patients that are supposed to be seen in all the local governments in Benue State, all their way leads to BSUT and FMC. And that's the reason why you see some people, they are complaining now about Benue State University Teaching Hospital. Is that you go, they say there is no bed. Why will there be bed? Benue State Teaching Hospital is supposed to be a referral center. It's a tertiary health institution. And you cannot, like my comrade said here, the primary health sector is dead, the secondary health sector is dead, and you are taking care of only the tertiary health sector. I've spoken with His Excellency, and I saw the passion with which he wants to make Benue work. I'm appealing to him on the behalf of Nigerian Medical Association that he should take a look at the general hospitals. He should bring the general hospitals back to life. He should bring the general hospitals back to life. I tell you, there's more workload in the general. There's supposed to be more workload in the general hospital than the tertiary hospital, because you see some states, they just have 2 tertiary hospitals, but multiple general hospitals. So attention should be paid to the general hospitals. Let the environment of the hospital be clean. Let the doctor be happy with where he's working. There's something about being happy.
All right.
Working. Thank you so much.
It's okay. Government is always a continuum. For instance, the product of the Benue State University, which you talked about, it is on public record that the past administration did make some investments there, rehabilitating comprehensively some of the wards there, and putting in place some of the machines, the MRI and others. Of course, it's good that the current administration have come to build on that, and we hope that the direction which you are pointing them to in the general hospital aspect should also be looked into to make the part of the continuity of government efforts to resuscitate the health sector in the state. We're due to start taking course now, but that will be, yes, I'll be back to you, comrade, just a moment. That will be after this short break. Kindly stay with us. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back from that short break, dear listener. If you are just tuning in, you are listening to Perspectives on Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM Makurdi. Our discussion today is focused on state of affairs in the education and the health sectors. It's a hybrid discussion. You can call in on 0814-335-9292, 0814-335-9292. Once you connect with us, we would like to know your full name and where you are calling from. Then you go ahead and make your submission. We appeal that you keep it very brief and be civil in your engagement with us. The SMS line is 0912-699-9404. 0912-699-9404. Comrade, you are itchy to say something, but I'll be back to you after we may have engaged with some of our audience. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you join us on Perspectives.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed the program. My name is Solomon Akahan. I'm calling from Ogondo Mega Layout Phase 2.
Good to have you, Solomon Akahan.
Thank you very much. I want to really appreciate the doctor in the house. I want to appreciate the governor of Benue State. on the strides taken on the issue of teaching hospital. But just like the doctor is saying, if you go to our general hospitals today, the state of our hospitals are very, very bad. Very, very bad. Really, I have sympathized with the doctors. About our primary health clinics, they have grounded them completely. We pray. We ask the governor of the state to revisit those people. It's very, very bad working under this environment. So I sympathize with the doctors and with them. And I believe that we have a governor who has a listening ear, and then he will have to do something about these things to improve our health sector. It's very, very important. Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, thank you for calling in. We appreciate your submission. Thank you. 0814-335-9292. Remember, our discussion is focused on both the education and the health sectors. At the education level, the university workers have grounded university activities across the country due to nationwide strike. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Sixtus, calling from North Bank.
Sixtus who?
Akbehe, calling from North Bank.
Sixtus Akbehe, good to have you. Go ahead.
You know, the last man that spoke there, he spoke well. And that is how it's supposed to be on radio. When you are there, you point out things that government can take a look at. Compared to what he's saying about the general hospitals, if you go there, in fact, sometimes if you go there, you might not meet a doctor there. They will tell you there is no doctor, and it's not their fault. It's their welfare, their well-being is not being protected. So there's no way you want somebody to work well and you're not taking care of him. So the governor should take a look at that. It's important.
Okay, thank you, Sixtus. Thank you for calling in. All right. These are opinions of Nigerians and Benue people on the subject matter, but it's not just about the governor, it's about the issues in general. So when you speak to us, don't limit our discussion to only the governor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm Andrew Atelumo, calling from Benue State Capital, Otu.
The name is who?
Andrew Atelumo.
Andrew Atelumo. Thank you for...
No, Andura, A-N-D-U-R-A.
Okay, Andula.
Yes.
Thank you. Which part of Makudi are you calling us from, Telumo?
Togo.
Good.
Issue of a doctor, when she is complaining about doctors, that he gives example of a judiciary that we have implemented 300 and something thousand naira. Both of them are professional courses. And if you are a lawyer, if you are working with government, you doesn't have your chamber only when you not working with the government. But doctors, all the doctors in Benue State or across the country, most of them in Nigeria have private hospital, and most of them divert patients to their hospital. Example, one man that has people at heart, he retired. The man put effort.
Telomon, when we are on air like this, some of these statements may be out of place. There's no justification to say certain ethnic group do not like another. We do not accept such for public engagement.
Okay.
Very well.
Thank you.
Yes.
Then in UK, that is mentioning like this, they work with the government strictly. They doesn't have private hospitals. And the government pay them what they demand and what they are working for. Then in Nigeria, we doesn't have that. But I am sorry for what you say that I'm specifying or okay. Then I'm pleading with the government of Benue State to put more effort in the general hospitals in Benue.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Telumo, for calling in. More attention should be given to the general hospitals. Of course, maybe when we are back, we'll find out why attention seems to be at tertiary level and the primary and secondary levels seem to have suffered neglect, as alleged by the callers. 0814-335-9292. The SMS line is 0912-699-9404. 0912-699-9404. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Oh, unfortunately, you're not coming through. You're on, but your voice is not coming through. So maybe you can try to call back. The line is still available for engagement with the listener. Good morning.
Good morning, presenter.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Okay. I'm Confidence Okafor from High Level, Macaulay.
All right.
Okay, I want to appreciate you guys for this program.
Thank
and
you.
I want to say that, yes, and doctors, you see, I must appreciate them for what they're doing and taking care of patients. But I want to say that some of them are eating rescue.
Some of
Eating
them.
rescue in the sense that,
Some-
yeah. Hello.
You,
So what I mean by eating rescue, by being corrupt.
oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, when you eat rescue, you share your birthright. That's what I mean by that.
Okay. So being corrupt,
Yes.
in what sense? Maybe you want to help us understand.
What I mean by that is that, you see, some doctors don't have working the government at heart. And why do you want government to take care of you? If really you want government to take care of you, you should devote your time to the government. I appreciate Governor of Benue State right now, what he's doing right now. But I want to tell you that some of those doctors prefer diverting patients to the private clinic or hospital more than the. I'm telling you out of experience. I'm not trying to guess. What I'm telling you is real. So if truly they need what they're mind for, there's also did the needful by working the government strictly. So there's no point of crying for help why you don't want to. I know, I appreciate them. I know they're taking risks. But another way around, they also should know that patients, government, sometimes what you need, you should ask government to bring the equipment what you need. Ask for it.
Okay.
Then it's only when government fails to do that, you can now begin to divert people to a private clinic or something of that nature. So that it happens. It's everywhere. It's common. So my opinion that they should also work on that aspect.
Okay, but
Yes.
confidence. I'm not speaking for the doctors anyway, but maybe we should ask you if there are no Hello, confidence.
I'm with you.
If there are no facilities in a public hospital, for instance, and such facilities are available in a private facility, and a doctor wants patients to access the services there, would you term that as corruption?
Okay, listen to me. I had ear problem one time. I went to teaching hospital, and also I don't want to call name. If I call name, you'll be surprised.
No, we
The
do
doctor
not
now
accept that too.
Yes, the doctor directed me to one hospital to go along the test, which I paid 10,000 naira. I'm not trying with you. And reaching there, I saw a toy. It's a toy. It's nothing. They all put something on my ear, press a button. There's a sound, bigger one and smaller one. Doctor said, "Did you hear it?" I said, "Yeah, I heard it." What is there that government cannot purchase? What is there? It's a toy to me.
Okay,
So what do you mean? Yes.
so I think that is where, if you say so, that is where perhaps the doctor may not be the doctor's fault. But thank you all the same
That's
for
what I'm saying.
making your points heard. Thank you, confidence. All right, so that we do not present a platform for people to just unjustly vilify or raise allegations about your profession. It should be in proper
Hello,
perspective.
good morning.
Morning, welcome to Perspectives.
Yes, you are speaking with Tewasi Mike Esesu, the head of state, calling from Bayongo, Macaulay.
Thank you, Tewasi.
Yes, I want to appreciate so much for bringing on this program. If you go to our general hospitals now, the governor is trying his most possible best to make sure that he return the general hospital back to the state. If not, if we go to the staff of the local government, at times they feel afraid going to the office, being proud of themselves that they are working in the general hospital. They feel ashamed because the place is not something to point at. This is where I'm working at. So, but now the governor is trying to do something about it. So I will not have much to say concerning that. But let them look at their affairs, which even to treat patients, they prefer taking them to their own private pharmacies. So the government clinics, general hospitals are no longer moving. So the government should take a very good care.
In any case, some of these general hospitals, there are some that are in good shape. Some that are, to my knowledge and to our investigation, are really in good shape as efforts were made on them by the past administration.
Hello.
Morning to you.
Good morning. I am Ilium Afre, popularly known as Kido. I'm calling from Wefe Quarter local government. My opinion is that
Hello,
any doctor that they are
hello,
going to
Alfred.
employ. Hello,
Alfred.
hello,
Ilum Alfred.
Alfred Ilium
From where?
from Wefe Quarter local government.
Welfare quarters. Is that in Makudi?
Wefe Quarters. Makudi is too.
I'm sorry, Ilum. Please, if you call, I'm sorry. On this program, we are very serious and we attach importance to your location, not some fun of it. I'm sorry, please. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Natai Nongo.
Thank you.
Yes. Good morning to your guests in the studio there.
Thank you.
Yes, I am Engineer Sunday Akpankole from North Bank, Makodi. They have spoken very well. I think the union leaders there, both the doctor and the SANU person there, they have spoken very well. Even the Bible says that the laborer deserves his wages. So if you are working, you should be paid commensurate to your output. Talking about doctors specifically, if you actually observe the ways they go through training before in the medical school before they come out, like Wednesday University here, some of them spent 10 years when the thing was not yet approved, instead of 6 years. And with the rigorous training, I'm a professional myself, I'm an engineer, I know what they went through. And my son also is a medical doctor, I know what they go through. So if they are ready to work and you don't have tools, like the doctor said, common sphygmon manometer to tell the blood pressure is not available, then the doctor will be frustrated, and they are not being paid commensurate to what they are doing. And in the sense, the risk they take, if there are infectious diseases that like during Ebola, doctors have to treat people. Lassa fever, they have to treat people. And they can easily be affected by the other countries. It's not good. We train them here, they should be here to serve us. So I actually in line with the doctor's submission and the other person. The laborer deserves his wages. They should pay them commensurately. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sunday. Thank you for calling in. Okay. It seems the issue of health has taken dominance from submission.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay, my name is Mr. Emeka Oji.
Emeka Oji, where are you reaching us
Yes,
from?
I'm calling from Welfare Quarter, sir.
Okay.
Okay, my own submission is on the issue of education. University of America, for example. Higher educations are not left alone for the government to run. And where the individuals, they contribute what they call endowment. All these billionaires, you see them contributing and giving some money. But in Nigeria, we don't see such things. So I don't know if the people in the universities will look in that direction, maybe get the government to either legislate or appeal to our billionaires to contribute something for the upkeep of the university, because leaving this thing alone for the government to bear at the end of the day, it's always something that we end up in what we are having from time to time, incessant strikes and lack of proper attention to the university level. Then also, just like somebody pointed out, our doctors and we sympathize with them and the lecturers, but they too should also try to do their best, because these two professions are very, very vital in the development of any society. We need to be educated, we need to be healthy for the society to thrive. So they too should put in their best.
All right.
Because as somebody pointed out, some of them are not too, they don't take their job seriously. They stay away at the end of the day. Maybe when it's time for exam, they will show up and then pile up the lectures on the student. They will go and write the exam, and then that's not the essence of education.
Anyway, these ones are not people who teach the students already. But thank you all the same, Emeka Oji, for calling in. Thank you for your submission.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, university workers, the public, well-to-do individuals should take the initiative of endowment funds to assist growth and development of universities across the country.
Matt, I'm the analyst in the studio.
Thank you for joining us.
My name is Okumoses. I'm calling from North Bank, Makodi.
Good to have you, Okumoses. Go ahead.
Okay, my emphasis is on the general hospitals, just like one of the analysts was analyzing. As Like seriously, if you go to my local government, which is Oju, if you get there, you will not even know a hospital like that is existing. The only thing some of us know them for is mortuary, because there's no other alternative for mortuary there. So I want to urge the government to do better, get all the facilities it requires in uh, in general hospital, at least to make them standard, because that is the only hospital that circulates around the locality. And so I want also to urge the doctors in those general hospitals to be prompt in their services to patients, because the last experience I had around 2008, I didn't vow, but I am like, and no matter what happened, I can never take my person to any public hospital, because life was going out of my person that I took to North Bank General Hospital here in North. Life was going out of her, and before they do a rush, what is it called? Before they rushed her for emergency, they shouldn't wait until when life is getting out of somebody before they attend to any patient that is being available or that is being taken to them. So that's my submission. They can put more effort.
More attention to the general hospital. Nigerians and Benue people seem to say that. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
You speak with Uso Isaac from Goma. Aren't you here, Tejime?
Good to have you, Isaac.
Thank you, sir. Personally, may I use this opportunity to call on our government by regular payments of salaries and what have you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for calling, Isaac. 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. The SMS line is 0912-699-9404. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, presenter.
Thank you for calling in on Perspectives.
Yes, I am John Opet calling from behind prisons.
All right.
Yes, I want to talk specifically about the issue of university workers. Hello?
You are on, Okbe. Speak to us.
Yeah. You see, this is an issue of no work, no pay that government brought out. The fault is from our lawmakers. There's a law in place that government made that will restrict workers from embarking on strike. That law, actually, it was a fashion to favor government. I want to urge the lawmakers as well that university workers are aggrieved because of non-payment of salary. They should equally make a law or point their arrow law to be made in such a way again as workers are aggrieved that there should be a law in place. No pay, no work. Because these people, actually what they are complaining is because of non-payment of salary, which government is not being fair to workers, university workers. So that is my opinion.
Okay,
government,
yes. From what the SANU chairman here told us, it's not just about not paid or they are not being paid based on the submission he told us. So
this, yes, exactly. This withheld of salary was done because of what government, the law government enacted that they embarked on strike, and that is why they are withholding their salary, which is not fair. They say government is saying that there is a law in place. If you embark on strike, no payment. This 4-month salary was because of that law, which is not proper.
All right.
Actually, government is not being fair to university workers. Generally, both SANU and the ASU, that is what they are complaining about. Okay. Government should wake up to their responsibility. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for calling in. Government should wake up to its responsibility to attend to the demands of the university workers so as to get our universities functioning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Thank you, the presenters. My name is Engineer Victor, calling from Welfare Quarters.
Victor who?
Victor Fachi,
Victor
calling
Fachi.
from Welfare Quarters.
Good to have you, Fachi. Go ahead and speak to us.
We that have been in the hospitals, we know what the doctors face. Because there are illnesses that some people will not even like to even go close to the patient, but the doctors will be there. They will risk their life because of those patients. So why the government is trying to playing tricks with the doctors? It's not fair. It should come to their end. If they are the ones handling those situations, will they be able to treat? Will they be allow other?
Hello, Fachi, are you there?
Will they be allowed others to treat them like that? So please, I'm begging the government to listen to the cry of those doctors, because by the time we train doctors finish in this country, they will leave the country because of the payment they're paying them, go to other countries to work. When we are ill, who will take care of us? Nobody. And we'll be dying. So I think the government should do the needful. Thank you all, sir.
Thank you. Stay behind, maybe by providing the enabling environment for them to stay behind and work. Good morning. Hello, 359292. That's the line to call in. The SMS line is 0912-699-9404. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Hello, sir.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in.
My name is Aki Rafael, calling from here.
Agbi Rafa, you say is the name?
Yes, sir.
Okay. From CRD.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you sound inaudible. That is why I'm trying to hear you well. So maybe if you speak up better, we can hear you.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Rafa, go ahead. You are on.
You see, doctors face multiplicity of challenges. So government needs to...
Agbi Rafa, maybe the network in CRD this morning seem unfriendly.
Can you hear me now?
Very well. Go ahead, please.
I think doctors used to face multiplicity of challenges. So government needs to increase their hazard or salary. But they should also try for government. There was a day they admitted me at the Wednessday University Teaching Hospital. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So when the doctor came and discharged me, so they were delaying me. I asked one of the nurses to bring the form that they're supposed to sign for my discharge. So the nurse told me that the form has finished. I said, nah, why will you say that? The whole of this hospital, they're supposed to discharge me, you are telling me the form has finished. If it is in your hospital, will you do that? But when they are looking for this job, they look stranded. But when they get the job, they doesn't work the way they're supposed to work. So it's very bad. But I'm appealing to government that the government should increase their salary or their hazard, because they face multiplicity of challenges. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for calling in, Rafael. Even though the scenario you shared does not correlate, but that's okay. It's your example. You have used it. We'll pause here for a while and come back later with the cause. I'll come back to you now, Comrade Shishi. You have listened to the submissions of Nigerians. Most of them touched more on the health aspect. But for the education aspect, what measures can be taken to address issues bordering on funding of universities to get them in proper working condition?
All right. Thank you very much. First and foremost, as a nation, we really need to sit down, identify our challenges, and then see how we can come out of it. Yes, we have been importing a lot of things. It is high time we start thinking of producing such things, and production comes as a product of what researches that are carried out. And so our research centers needs to be properly equipped, and this thing needs money. So government really need to ensure that every tertiary institution and every research center and inter-university center is properly funded and goals given, because if you are providing funds, understand that I know a particular lecturer that a private company funded a research for him, and they were on that team, somebody from physics, chemistry, biology, to produce a water treatment kit that will be used in Africa. That happened in the UK. So I also want to call on our private companies, our investors, that instead of trying to import things in the country, it's high time they should all rally around the effort the government is doing in trying to see how they can improve on the quality of the things being produced here instead of banking on importation, because it is creating a lot of damages to our economy. For example, I wanted to also state something.
Yes, go ahead.
In 2011, when I got my job, the dollar equivalent of my salary was $628. After working for close to 14 years, now the dollar equivalent of my salary is 126. And in Nigerian terms, I have gained promotion, and in Naira it has doubled more than what I started working with. And yet the dollar equivalent is that I have gone down over 600% less if there is something, a negative progress. So starting work with $628 and working for 14 years. And so that is the implication on also the commodities we import. It is high time we sit down and begin to see how we can start production so that our researches, they can be, incentives for scientific-based researches geared towards production, entrepreneurship. What we do here about entrepreneurship is still theoretical, where people carry entrepreneurship as a course in the university. It is not done even at PhD level in some universities. And still, these students still go out to meet those people that produce or fabricate some of these things to help them to come and make a presentation where they pay them money. And again, it seems there is no coherence and a government from executive orders. I recall that in July 2024, President Tinubu directed that the salaries of university workers of Sano and Naso be paid. As at last week, the Minister of Finance was saying that is still on his table. He's trying to work around it. These monies were budgeted for and provided. Not just budget, and provided. And yet, a directive from the president is taking more than how many months, and these monies are not paid up to this moment. I look at that as sabotage. And for us, I am not celebrating for anybody's downfall, but it is good that the Minister of Education is relieved, because, you have to do from education to finance, to salaries, income, and wages conditions. Therefore, it's...
Maybe when you mentioned this Minister of Education who was amongst those sacked, is it as a result of pressure from you, unions, ASU, NASU, SANU, mounting pressure on him that the man possibly was axed from that position?
I don't know the mind of the president, but it seems he's not performing. He want to rigid his cabinet.
But wasn't he engaging with your unions, university unions, on issues bordering on the welfare of your members?
There's something if every day you go to work and then there's no result to show that you are working, that means you have been just wasting around. You are not doing anything. So it should be result oriented. What are the goals? What are the targets? That given this period of time, this is what you have achieved. So we just, and it happens in almost all sectors where people are just busy doing nothing. Because he came in, there were challenges, and because there was a new administration, all the unions calmed down and then kept lobbying, seeing how they can sensitize, and then at the end of 1 year plus, no single achievement has been recorded, especially as far as workers' welfare is concerned. We have recorded 0 achievement.
Wow.
And finally,
yes,
my position also as chairman Sano Benue State, that comprises of even the Joseph Sawon Ataka members. those people pay tax heavily to Benue State government. You are talking about things that motivate people to go to work. That road to that place is a death trap. There are days that when it rains, staff from that university government to at least make that place motorable for this staff. Because one, there is no state government presence in Justin, just the way it is in BSU, in terms of this is a project the government is doing. And that road too, that's at the moment, that is their major challenge with the state government. Because they are heavily taxed. Oh, in fact, everything that is in there's no tax relief for them at all. And so I want to appeal that the state government, sometimes waking up to even go to work there, that is aside from the increment in the hike in the fuel price. But to drive to go to Union Agric every day, you have to pray that you should go and come home safely because of the road. We don't want to talk about the wear and tear. From these meager resources that since 2009 our salaries have not been improved and the monies are going down, there is no motivation to work. And that is why you cannot see somebody giving you the best. Even if you have to do a practicals in the laboratory and somebody is going to man that, the cost of him going to work to ensure you carry out that practical and the number of hours you stay, the government is not ready to pay the overtime and then even do the consequential adjustment. For staff of Benue State University, since the minimum wage was implemented, consequential adjustment have not been done. As I'm speaking with you now, promotion areas is still there. And then our members who were to be promoted beyond quantity level since 2015 have not been promoted up to the level. And that was one of the reasons why we were on strike up to June 2024. There was no governing council for over a year. And we are happy that by July, after our protest, the state government constituted the governing council. And from what the governing council, though they have met once physically, but the machinery they have put in place are geared towards resolving that. But still, we are still only hoping, because for us, until we receive these letters and we receive alert, for us, at the moment, they are just the efforts. We want to appeal that they should intensify their efforts towards, resolving these issues, because there are many. That is just a national strike. We just suspended the strike in June, and our members are already agitating for another strike. Because there is no improvement.
An internal one?
Yes, local one at the branch level.
Issues that you have?
Yes, internal issues. I am just appealing to them at the moment, also as the chairman of Joint Action Committee of Jack and Naso and Sano, that they should just give the new governing council a time. So sometimes it appears as if the government has even bribed the labor leaders. Because we are appealing to them to be patient. Let's see that the new governing council might have something good for us. And still, we are just waiting. There have not been any difference between the time we went on strike and we suspended the strike. The only thing is that they continue a governing council that will look into some of these challenges. I want to tell you that even the law establishing the university was reviewed in 2020, August. And none of the inputs from university unions, you are making a law that will govern the people. The inputs unions made, none of them reflected. We didn't see, there was no public hearing. The issues are too many. If I can take a whole day to list them one after the other. And this is a university system where people are trained. It's an laboratory where knowledge, excellence, center of excellence, where knowledge is to be demonstrated. And the members are being suppressed up to this level. You asked a question earlier, why are the tertiary institutions giving more attention? I'm thinking that maybe because our unions are stronger, because at least we see it, we write it in papers. I remember writing some publication in national dailies about the Professor Nimi Briggs committee when he was asked to renegotiate the 2009 agreement, and he was not giving attention to Sano and Naso. So we put him on the spotlight, we publish it, and then we impeach his character that he was not, capable of leading that kind of negotiation. So I want to also encourage the other unions. They should not keep quiet. I am just learning today, honestly, because maybe I've been in Makurdi for too long. I didn't know that is the route at the general hospitals. Honestly, based on what the callers and my comrades say, I'm just taken aback. I just felt that the current government is doing everything possible in the health sector, and I didn't know it was limited to just the tertiary health institution. So we can do more.
Okay, we can do more. And of course, it is the more which is the solution. We are here on Agate Radio to discuss this, because in the end, we are looking at what more can be done in terms of policy or recommendations. Let's engage with a few more persons before we come back. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives. Kindly move away from your radio. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Jonathan Ichawe.
Thank you, Jonathan Ichawe. Where are you reaching us from, sir? Thank you.
Yes, not only the situation even in the tertiary hospitals that seem to have gotten some attention, it's not good enough. Let me tell you an experience I had. I went to Federal Medical Center at Api to get my ears cleaned. They needed warm water to do that. And Natalia, do you know how we got the warm water? Hello?
You are on, sir. You want to let us know, sir, if you wish.
Yeah, I bought, they say I should buy this packaged water, one bag, and where the women who sell food are boiling yam to cook, when they cover the pot, they put the sachet water on top of the cover, so the water can boil, which means they didn't have any facility to warm water in a tertiary hospital.
Wow.
The second surprise to me was that they are still using syringes to put water in your ear instead of sanction implement. My ear was clean, I think, when I was in secondary school in the 60s, using that system. They're still using that system to clean my ears. I've had a running out, but I have no alternative. Then about our doctors leaving the country. I think our doctors, I doff my heart for those of them staying behind.
Thank you, sir.
You know, our doctors are well trained here in Nigeria. At one time, the biggest hospital in the United Kingdom, I was in the United Kingdom there as a student. The man in charge of that hospital was a Nigerian, and he was trained in Nigeria. I think what we have to do in this country is to put values on the jobs. Whom do we value? Do we value a legislator, a councillor, more than a medical doctor? Do we value a senator more than a medical doctor?
Okay.
The payment system is so poor. No valuations are given to jobs. They just decide that we pay a doctor this.
Thank you, sir.
Although the amount of money the doctor there was quoting of 5.30 million a month, that is so because of the poor value of the naira now.
Right. Thank you.
Well, you know, 1,000. Yes, let me talk about the strike of SANU and the rest.
Okay, just briefly, sir, because you have, yes, sir.
Yes, I know. Nathaniel, world over. If you go on strike, you're not paid. Your union pays you while you are on strike. World over. The ILO knows this. And the university people know it. That is what it should be. It's not just a law in Nigeria. It's world over.
Okay,
if you are prepared to go on strike, then your union pays you.
The union leader here told us the government of the past president approved that this would have salaries be paid. So why is it not paid up to this moment is the subject.
Naturally, after having said that, I wonder what is wrong with our government. You enter into an agreement with a union. 10 years, 15 years later, you still have not fulfilled that agreement. I think we are too complacent in Nigeria.
Okay. Thank you,
with
sir.
stomach too much from our government.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We should conclude
Yeah,
here now.
thank you, Nathan.
Thank you very much, Elder Jonathan Ichabe, for your contribution. Okay, comrade, I think he ended up making the same submission. So you wanted to counter that almost immediately, but I think his thoughts align with yours. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in our perspectives.
Yes, my name is Umase Austin, calling you from Naka.
The name is who?
Umase Austin.
Umase Austin. Thank you, Umase Austin.
Yes. I want to basically comment on the issue of doctors, most especially in the general hospitals. You know, Nigeria is practicing a mixed economy, which is the capitalism and the socialism. So when people are only blaming one sector, it is not really good. Both the capitalists and the socialists should collectively join hands together to curb this menace occurring in the general hospitals. If you could visit most of the general hospitals in Benue State, you discover that even their buildings are very, very dilapidated. The workers there are so negligent. They work out of negligence. Sometimes they abandon patients, not even attending to. And it is very, very bad. Okay, if you know that you are not being well paid, go ahead and protest. Okay, if you are not being remunerated, I know it very well that if a worker is being remunerated, he will execute a task that is being assigned to him or her very well. So if you are not being remunerated, you should find a channel or a platform in which you can express your grievances rather than abandoning patients in the hospital unattended to. It is very, very bad. So I call on the capitalists and the socialists to jointly or collectively synergize to put an end to this menace in the health sector.
Thank you, Masa.
In the general hospitals.
Sorry,
I still want to comment on the issue of the lecturers in the university.
Briefly.
Okay, you know, these two professions, doctors and lecturing, you know, no profession is rooted or is being found without education or without that sector that sector called education sector. So I want the government should prioritize the welfare of the lecturers so that they will inculcate good things in the students so that they will become good leaders of tomorrow.
All right.
If a lecturer is being remunerated very well, I discover that, and I have to know it very well, that they will put in their best to bring another profession into existence.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Austin, thank you very much for calling in. That will be the last call we'll take on the program for want of time. But let's take a few messages before we come back. And this one here says, a few messages we have coming in. Good morning, presenter. My experience in General Hospital North Bank, I took my sick mother who needed quick attention at about 9 a.m. No, not even a nurse to help her. I stayed for over 20 minutes. The security man advised me to move to a private hospital. I took her to a hospital because of not getting quick attention. She passed away. This happened late 2022. Thanks, Bello Musa from North Bank. Okay, Bello Musa, condolences, and we're so sorry for the loss of your mom. Another one here says, okay, unfortunately that is not related to our program, but that's just the message we can accommodate. Now, Dr. Japheth Onyewuchi, you listen to the callers, and most of them harped more on the state of the general hospitals. And there were also allegations from them arising on from the conduct of some of the healthcare professionals. Do you make yourselves available to serve the people in these general hospitals and in tertiary facilities? Are you available attending to patients? The doctor-to-patient ratio, is it satisfactory? Are you meeting all of these?
Thank you so much. I appreciate the callers. If you go to the teaching hospital right now, doctors are overworked. because we have fewer doctors there. And because of the strike in the general hospitals, all road is leading to the Benue State University Teaching Hospital. Now, probably when a doctor is burned out, tired, maybe along the line he didn't give you the required attention. But I want to let you know that doctors are passionate people. We are very, very passionate with our work, especially as it has to concern a human life just like you. There is no life lost in the hospital that we don't investigate, sit on morbidity, mortality meetings and look into it. Why did this patient die? What happened? That's to tell you how important life is. We don't just treat. There are meetings to review mortalities. There are meetings to review morbidities. Why is this patient taking long in the hospital? Why is he not getting well? Why did this patient die? We look at the time the patient came in. We look at the condition the patient came in. Now, you need to know, the public need to know that most of the patients that are appearing in this tertiary health institution are patients that have been maltreated from peripheral hospitals. Patients that the general hospital are not able to manage, patients that the peripheral hospitals around are not able to manage. And then patients are being referred there in chronicity. The chances of losing a patient, especially something like typhoid perforation, you have good outcome in the management of typhoid perforation. If you get that patient, within the first 5 days, first 1 week, you have a good outcome. But when you see this patient have been to peripheral hospital 1, peripheral hospital 2, they can't do anything, they are coming with a swollen abdomen 3 weeks after perforation, the chances of mortality is very high. So you see that some people will say they brought to teaching hospital and patient die. I want to really talk on this allegation of
just briefly, because we're already wrapping up. Our time is no longer there.
Of patients working in private practice.
Very well.
Yes, I listened to one of the callers who said he's been in the UK and all the doctors there in UK or US, they do not work in. There's no private practice. I think I beg to differ there because there are private practitioners in US and in UK. In fact, last month, I met one of them in a summit we attended at Lagos. She said that she is a private practitioner in the US. Now, what happened is this. A non-doctor built a very furnished hospital. That person is a non-doctor, but he hired all professional cardiologists, general surgeon, orthopedics. Now you come in, see your patient as they are paying. The hospital takes their own, and you take your money. That's private practice in the UK, in the US. In Nigeria here, yes, I agree. Some patients work with the government and they have their own private facilities. There's nothing wrong with that, but I do not subscribe to doctors who are working in government hospital and you neglect the government hospital to take care of your own private hospital. What you are doing is fraud. And I want such doctors to know that if you are receiving salary from the government hospitals and you are not taking care of patients there, God will hold you accountable for that. Thank you.
Okay. Comrade Chishi, our time is no longer there, and this will be your parting words. What can be done to resolve this current strike in the immediate so that we get activities back on the university campuses?
Thank you very much. The first thing is to immediately, without further delay, pay the withheld salaries because it was worked for. If there is a strike and it's suspended, they don't jump to work ahead. The work that was left must be done, and that work has already been done. So the salaries will be paid without further delay, and the machinery for renegotiation should be completed as soon as possible, and implementation in earnest to commence.
If the salaries are not paid in the immediate, because there is hardship, even the government is talking about no money, won't you consider the plight of the students and get back on campus to get the universities work?
As a matter of fact, with the current economic situation, given the hike in the price of PMS, this strike is going to bite harder than any other strike because it's going to be total, comprehensive, and indefinite. Because I want to tell you what that withheld salaries have cost somebody. They only pay you 12 times a year. And if 4 of those months are withheld, you don't know the ripple effects, whether you took a bank facility to execute a particular project or so. It has created a lacuna in your feeding, healthcare program, school fees program for your family. So there is great instability. So people will prefer that. If that means that we are prepared to stay at home now, for even if it means we are going to stay for 10 years. Oh. And as the strike progresses, more measures will be put in place to make it tougher and harder, that there will be no way around it, and the system will be grounded.
But the government should make a response. Since embarking on the strike, this is day 3 of it. Has the government made any response inviting your union to the table for dialogue?
There is some sort of one kind of invitation, and that the union should not embark on strike, that their issues will be looked into.
So if you have gotten the assurance, I think the strike should be...
the resolution is that this particular one, once alert enter, it will not take more than 24 hours.
Okay, we hope we get to that stage. Dr. Japhet Onyewuchi, the National Physicians Week is being observed. What are the immediate issues the government should address in the health sector to get it functioning properly?
Remuneration. The new hazard allowance should be paid to all doctors in Benue State. The new commerce salary scale should be implemented and paid across board in Benue State. The general hospitals, as the public are crying out, the doctors are also crying out. The workplace environment, infrastructure, security should be looked into. General hospitals environment should be a place that the doctor is proud of working and will have the mind to invite his friends to come to his workplace. These are all our demands. Thank you.
Dr. Amina Japhet Onyewuchi is a consultant general surgeon at the Federal University of Health Sciences, Otukpo. She is the chairman, Nigerian Medical Association, Benue State Branch. Thank you very much indeed for coming on Perspectives.
Thank you.
Comrade Lupe Shishi is the chairman, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, at the Benue State University chapter. Thank you, comrade, for your time with us, for sharing insights with us on the program. Dear listener, that's our program today. Join us on Friday for a fresh edition. We hope that the issues in the health sector, in the education, will be addressed so that the universities will function and our hospitals will get functioning better for the citizens. I am Nathaniel Nongo. Have yourself a great Wednesday ahead. Goodbye.